Is it okay if I sit here? Is this okay? Oh, thank you. You are too kind and generous. Look, the important thing is that you're comfortable, okay? Don't worry about me. Lily looks genuinely disappointed because I just broke to her that this is a two-seater couch and both of us can sit on it at the same time. Okay? 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 All right. Hello, best friends, and welcome back to our safe, cozy little space of the internet. I am so happy to see you, and I hope you're doing super well and that life is just treating you like the prince or princess or non-binary royalty that you are. I have missed you so much, and I am so happy to be back in my happy space here hanging out with you guys. If you haven't been here before, then hi, my name is Liz and this is Lily. She's here because it's her world and we're just living in it. Right, Lily? Yes, you are the main character. If you have been here before though, hopefully you have seen my update video that I will have uploaded at the same time as this one. And so you're aware that we are taking a very serious change of pace in our safe space. If not, if you haven't seen it, I will leave it linked up here somewhere so that you can get yourself up to speed. But here we are in our first installment of a series I'm starting, which I think we're going to call Come Scroll With Me. Yes, as in, come scroll with me, let's scroll away. Lily is giving me all of the cringe vibes right now. Honestly, I am very open to other suggestions for a title for this series because low-key, Come Scroll With Me kind of makes me feel like a 75-year-old woman living her best life on a cruise ship somewhere with one hand working the poking machine and the other hand nursing like a melted margarita or something. Like, honestly, hopefully that is me one day, but today is not the day. So if you have any other suggestions, please send them my way. Otherwise, if you are down with Come Scroll With Me, then let me know and we will lock it in. So the basic premise behind us gathering together in this series is that rather than us being on our own, lonely, doom scrolling through our phones just separately, we're getting together and making it a group activity. We're putting the social back into social media and we can interact and chat in the comments below and discuss everything further. You know, it just feels healthier. And for our first gathering, I decided that we would head to what has very quickly become one of my favorite corners of Reddit, the subreddit r/Am I the Asshole? For those unfamiliar, it's exactly what it sounds like. Someone tells their side of a story or scenario where they might have originally felt that they said the right thing or acted in the right way, but now after having time to think about it, or probably more likely being called out by friends, family members, maybe even strangers, this person is now asking Reddit, am I the asshole? And then they turn it over to strangers on the internet to weigh in and vote. And the voting system is pretty straightforward. There's YTA for you're the asshole. There's NTA for not the asshole. There's also ESH for everyone sucks here, or NAH, nah, no assholes here. Lily has jumped ship already, by the way, but that's fine. We've got this. We will struggle on together. And so jumping into our first post, we have AITA, am I the asshole, for telling my wife she should have saved herself the trouble of cooking me a birthday dinner considering her cooking skills. My 28 male wife, 24, has terrible cooking skills, so she rarely even attempts to cook. We have a housemaid who cooks except for Sundays, so we rely on takeouts every Sunday. My birthday was on last Sunday. I don't really celebrate it, so we planned that I'll have lunch with my friends and dinner with my wife. I asked her if we can go eat at some nice place, and she declined, saying that she will arrange the dinner. I thought she was going to order something. I feel like she didn't order something. By the time I reached home in the evening, whole house smelled weird. She said she has cooked me a dinner. Aw, how sweet is that? I was stunned because that was least expected, but decided to go along with that and waited until she set the table up. I feel like OP could have at least set the table while she was finishing dinner, but I'll let it slide. I won't go into details, but one dish looked half burnt and other was more like tasteless water instead of what she was calling a soup. The dessert was barely edible. She knew she messed up, but expected me to try them all. Yes, because your wife doesn't cook and she knows it's not her strong suit. And yet she spent probably a huge amount of time and effort slaving over a 3-course meal for you to come home to on your birthday while you were out having fun with your friends. I thanked her and told her we can still order or go out, and she should not have bothered cooking because she knows of her poor cooking skills very well. She got upset. Yes, of course she did. And told me at least I could have tried it before she cleaned the table. So you made her clean the table as well. And told me I can order for myself. She had her own cooked meal and did not touch what I ordered. Now I look back and think maybe I was a bit too harsh. Does this make me an asshole? OP, you're just so mean. Like, you should have at least just tried the damn food, even if it was like a mouthful of each one. I'm sure your wife was fully aware that it wasn't a 5-star meal or anything. But if you had tried it, then at least you could have laughed about it and it would have been super cute. But instead, you decided to be mean. Like, if you are a super picky eater and you thought that, I don't know, you might have thrown up if you tried it, there were so many other nicer ways that you could have gone about this situation. But you said your wife did eat the meal, so I don't think you would have thrown up. I think you were just being mean. For anyone wondering, Reddit did give this guy an overwhelming vote of YTA, you're the asshole, and I have to wholeheartedly agree. Moving on, AITA for calling my daughter by her actual first name rather than her nickname. I, female 40, have been with my husband for 6 years, married for 2 of those years. He has sole custody of his daughter, female 15. His daughter has gone by her first and middle initials, EJ, since she was a baby. Those are my first initials too. Everyone calls her her dad, other family members, teachers, friends, etc., etc. When my husband and I were dating, out of curiosity, I asked what EJ stand for. He told me, and I thought her name was so pretty, and I started calling her that. She didn't like being called that, but after a while, I guess she got used to it because she has let me. Well, last night, stepdaughter had some friends over and I asked her to help me with something, addressing her by her name. Her friends gave questioning looks and stepdaughter said, "Guys, that's me." A few laughed saying, "Oh yeah," and kind of joked about forgetting her actual first name. Well, after her friends left, she got upset, ranting to her dad about how he doesn't even call her by her first name, so she doesn't understand why his wife, me, gets to, and how she doesn't even feel like her first name. She feels like an EJ. After her rant, she went up to her bedroom and my husband ended up getting upset at me, saying I should just respect she prefers to be called EJ. I started saying how I just thought her actual name was so pretty. He said I'm honestly acting like an asshole, refusing to call her EJ. So AITA. So Reddit also voted YTA for this post, and I'm going to have to agree. OP, you were definitely the asshole. Your stepdaughter is 15 years old, and I honestly feel like she didn't just get used to you calling her by her first name or let you. I feel like she may have just given up trying to correct you after how long? 6 years of you calling her by a name that she had told you she didn't want to be called. And just because you think her name is pretty, it's still her name and she should be able to do what she wants with it. And one of the comments has just summed this up so beautifully. They commented, "I think calling you AH sounds so much nicer than OP, so I will just call you that." Like, honestly, it's the same thing. Asshole. Moving on, am I the asshole for not renaming my puppy because my sister wanted to use it for her unborn kid? This feels pretty dumb, but here's the situation. My sister is 7 months pregnant with her first kid. She and her husband didn't want to tell anyone the name of their to-be-born son until he's born. Fine with me, I'd probably do the same. Well, last week I adopted a pup and named him Eddie. I've always liked human names for dogs, and growing up on Ed, and Eddie, it just felt right. It sounds so cute. My girlfriend posted on Instagram a pic of Eddie with his new collar and custom dog bowl. And then my sister called me telling me I have to change the name because they are naming their son Edward after her father-in-law and will be calling him Eddie. I told her the dog is already named. It fits him. We bought stuff with the name already, and it's not like anyone will confuse a dog for a human anyway. She keeps insisting we do so, and I'm already being a bad uncle by not. This feels so stupid to me, but am I the asshole? Honestly, this one is super easy. Reddit voted NTA, not the asshole, and I once again have to agree. They got this right. Obviously, your sister can choose not to reveal her baby's name until her baby is born. That's totally fine. But she also has to be aware that she runs the risk that that name is going to be claimed by someone else, not knowing that she's laid claim to it in her mind because she hasn't told anyone. Honestly, if it were my family, we would probably turn it into a running joke where we tried to convince human Eddie that he was named after puppy Eddie and just laugh about it. Like, it's not a big deal. As you've already pointed out, no one is going to confuse human Eddie with puppy Eddie. Honestly, depending on how petty I was feeling, I might be tempted to have a baby of my own and name them Eddie as well. And then you've got your Ed, and Eddie. Perfect. But basically, I definitely think you're not the asshole. I think it's really cute that they'll both have the same name. There is an update. We're keeping the name, not because of this post, but last night our 2-year-old hugged him and said, "My Eddie," and that settled it for us. Have a great day, everyone. So cute. Next, am I the asshole for expecting my husband to help me get the kids and house ready instead of taking a nap? My husband and I need some outsider point of view to settle a debate for us. Our 12-year-old dog had to be put to sleep yesterday and we are both devastated. I'm so sorry. That's heartbreaking. Today, my cousin is graduating from high school and I'm getting our children, ages 4 and 3, ready to go to his graduation party. My husband decided that this was a good time to take a nap and leave me to get myself and the kids ready and also straighten up the house because we have let it fall into disarray the past few days while grieving for our dog. When I asked that he wait and take a nap after the party so that he can help me, he got upset that I'm not letting him sleep so he can grieve and said we have been cleaning all morning. What on earth? I'm already so mad. It is actually me that has been cleaning the house while he sat and played video games with our 4-year-old. He also slept in the morning and has been awake for a whopping 4 hours. I know that we are both upset and tired and that everyone grieves in their own way, but I don't feel like I am wrong for expecting some help. So am I the asshole or is he? I'm just honestly at a loss as to how to react to this. Like, how is OP even thinking that she might be the asshole in this situation? Like, am I missing something? And there is an edit. I have been reading the comments and figured I would answer some questions. Our dog belonged to both of us. We have been together since high school and rescued him as soon as we moved in together. Also, I know going to a graduation party the day after sounds a bit ridiculous. I did not want to go, but we have both been a mess this whole week leading up to yesterday, and I feel bad for my kids. They have been very excited about this party and getting to see their cousins. I went so that they could have fun and get their minds off everything. Poor babies, and poor you. It's so hard that you have to navigate your own grief as well as help them through theirs. My kids are young and don't fully understand what has happened. My husband had the option of staying home. Wait. So on top of getting up first, doing all of the cleaning and getting the kids ready for this party, your husband had the option to not go to the party. Like, you gave him that out and he still needed to nap right in the middle of everything going on. Like, this is just not computing for me. Like, unless there is a massive amount of context here that OP has omitted and left out, I just don't understand why there's an argument here of who's the asshole. Obviously, Reddit doesn't understand either. They voted NTA, you're not the asshole. I agree, but it's confusing. It feels like there's something missing here, or at least for my sanity, there has to be something missing here. Like, I just hope that no one can be this much of an asshole. Like, OP, this was your dog as well. When do you get your time to grieve if you're rushing around doing everything while your husband decides when he gets to have a nap to grieve? And why is his grief taking priority over yours? This one has stumped me, and if I think too much more about it, I'm going to get even more mad. So we're going to move on. Am I the asshole for emailing my fiance's dad about her DNA results? I, 35 male, secretly emailed my fiance's 31 female biological father, who is adopted and had no links to his real family, to inform him that his family had been found through her 23andMe test results. Okay, color me intrigued. 3 years ago, she bought 23andMe tests for us, her parents, mum and stepdad, and my parents. This was a deeply meaningful gift because my 5 older brothers have tormented me all my life with claims that I was adopted, or that our dad wasn't my dad since I don't look like everyone else in the family. I'm tall with red hair, so it really healed an old wound to get definitive proof that our parents are both my parents. I mean, what a great outcome for such a thoughtful gift. What we weren't expecting was for results of her biological father's family to show up. She wasn't expecting to find many familial connections because she's first-generation American. Initially, there was a third cousin connection on her paternal side, and over the last couple of years, it's grown into a practical family tree. I knew that she had stopped speaking to her dad over 10 years ago because the most he did for her was sporadically remember to call on her birthday. She explained her reasons for not wanting to give him the information, but they honestly didn't sit well with me. Oh no. I tracked down her dad's email address in her contacts list and sent him the list of his known relatives. No, OP, what are you doing? I completely forgot about it until her mum saw a social media post about him finding his family and told my fiance. She was very emotional as she told me about the phone call with her mum, but said she was happy for him. She made a comment about how we didn't have anything to do with it, so I confessed what I had done. She was furious, and this has created a major issue in our relationship. Am I the asshole for sending her dad, who is adopted, her test results that identified his biological family? So we'll rip off the Band-Aid straight away. Reddit voted you're the asshole, and again, I have to agree. I feel like OP was the asshole in this situation. I will say in OP's defense, I feel like he had good intentions. Like, he had such a positive experience in discovering his roots and all of that. And he didn't feel like that should be withheld from his fiance's biological father. But good intentions don't always equal good decisions. And I think that's definitely the case here. I feel like it was the point where you were invading your fiance's privacy to go into her email, into her contact list to get her biological father's email address. Like, I feel like that was the point where you should have maybe second guessed yourself, especially when it was to overrule a decision that you had no right to overrule. And then you only came clean when you thought you weren't in trouble. Like, I just don't personally understand how you wouldn't see that you're the asshole in this situation, but we're going to move on. Oh, hi. Are you joining us again? Hi, pretty girl. Hi. Oh, you want to sit there? There you go. So Lily's back, but she decided she wants to sit on this side this time because, like I said earlier, it's Lily's world. We're just living in it, right? Right. As long as you're okay. So this, I think, will be the last post for today. Am I the asshole for telling my best friend his girlfriend is disgusting? I, 22 female, have been friends with Danny, 22 male, since high school, and he recently moved in with his current girlfriend, Lucy, 22 female. So they're all 22. They had a housewarming party on Friday, and Lucy spent most of the night dancing with her own friends who are very like her, excitable, extroverted, e.g. I think she means etc. And dragging Danny away from his conversations with us, his friends, to dance, even though he's more like us, introverted, not party animals. Okay, so to me, there's a few red flags here, even in the first paragraph. Like, this is a housewarming at Lucy and Danny's house, and OP is put out because Lucy was dancing at her party in her house with her friends, who she doesn't seem to like because they seem a bit more fun than her. Allegedly. She also doesn't like that Lucy, God forbid, wants to spend time with her boyfriend, Danny, at their party in their house. Later, Danny was being quiet, so I asked if he was okay, and he said just tired, but he just kept watching Lucy dancing and then said something in her ear the next time she came over, and she just shook her head and laughed at him. After she went back to her friends, I asked if it was bothering him how she was behaving, and he asked me to explain. I mentioned the attention-seeking dancing and the fact she was wearing something really revealing, even though other guys were at this party. Danny said it didn't bother him and then sat with a moody face. So OP doesn't actually know what Danny whispered in Lucy's ear, but she seems to assume that he felt the same way as her and was put out by Lucy dancing with her friends. And then she goes so far to comment on the outfit that Lucy was wearing once again in her own house at her own party. And then when Danny acts all moody, she once again assumes that he's moody with her rather than at her for being the worst. At the end of the night, Lucy sat down with us and started chatting nonstop about how amazing the party had been. I pointed out jokingly Danny obviously wasn't enjoying himself since he looked miserable, and Danny told her I was worried he was jealous because of her outfit. Lucy ruffled his hair, which he hates. I'm interested in how OP knows this, and said he was quiet because he loved her outfit so much he couldn't wait for us all to leave so he could drag her to bed. I thought that was completely inappropriate. Of course he did, OP, and said to Danny, in that case, I would just leave if she was going to be disgusting. And Lucy just laughed at me, so I did leave. Lily's left us again, but that's okay. We've got this. So just to unpack a little again, it sounds like Lucy had a great time. It sounds like it was a fun party, and OP was annoyed to hear that she had a fun time. And so she suggested that Danny didn't have a good time, but honestly, if I had been Danny sat next to OP all night and hearing her complain about my girlfriend at our party and seeming to actively try to keep us apart at our party, I would have looked pretty miserable that night too. Honestly, I'm getting pretty serious jealousy vibes from OP as well. And there's a part of me that hopes that Lucy's inappropriate joke was an intentional response to her being so rude all night. Today, Danny has messaged me saying that Lucy wants an apology before I'm allowed back in their home. Yes. But when I asked if Lucy will apologize for making me uncomfortable, he said no, she doesn't have anything to be sorry about. I was genuinely only worried about my friend, but I admit I could have just left without calling her disgusting. So am I the asshole? There's an edit as well. To clarify, I didn't say the comment about her clothes directly to Lucy. I asked Danny once and then never mentioned it again. I asked him because I know in the past he's said anything overly sexual makes him uncomfortable. So I'm not going to make presumptions here, but it almost sounds like OP has made an advance on Danny in the past, like a physical advance. And Danny, to let her down gently, has just been like, oh, no, sorry, I'm just not into anything overly sexual. Like, it's not you, it's me. He's not the kind of guy who makes innuendos or anything. Also, I'm in no way jealous of Lucy. She's the opposite of how I'd want to be, which is fine. People can be who they want. Really, OP? Can people be who they want? Because the entirety of the rest of your post seems to suggest that you feel differently. And Danny and I already tried dating years ago, but the spark wasn't there and it was uncomfortable after we tried being intimate, and we both agreed we were better as completely platonic friends. So Reddit voted, you're the asshole on this one. And I have to agree. The internalized misogyny in this post, like that it's just dripping with, it gives me the ick. And it makes me sad for everyone involved, even OP herself. She's only 22, so I hope that as she matures, she's able to get past some of the issues she might have that led her to act and talk in this way and think that she wasn't the asshole in this situation. And I hope that she's not too hurt by some of the comments on this post, because people did not hold back. But that is where we are going to leave off today, guys. I hope you had fun hanging out with us today. I say us because Lily was here for part of it. She just decided to go do her own thing. But I certainly enjoyed our hangout. I would love to hear what you guys thought of these posts. Did you also agree with Reddit? Do you have any extra thoughts or opposing thoughts? Do you disagree with Reddit or me? I would love to hear it. Let's carry on the conversation in the comments down below. Again, I am so glad to be back, and I am so excited to scroll through a few other subreddits that I am obsessed with. If you guys have any subreddits or apps or websites or threads that you would like to explore together, then please send them my way and I will certainly add them to my list. If you are not already subscribed, then I would love if you did that so that we can be best friends forever. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, guys. It means the absolute world. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and me and Lily will be counting down the hours until we see you in the next one. Bye.